Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Cannabis Capital Market Conference in Frankfurt, and we move on with Pure Global Cannabis and a company actually out of Toronto, and with Malay Panchal, who is the founder and CEO of the company. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, Jochen.
Yeah, great to have you here. And Pure Global, what is the company about? Maybe you give us a short insight.
Absolutely. So Pure Global Cannabis, which is the owner and operator of Pure Sense Inc., which is a licensed entity in Canada under the ACMPR, we are what we believe to be the next generation of cannabis companies, really focused not on the cultivation or the extraction, but taking the products into developing the products of the future, the manufactured products in the wellness and the pharmaceutical arenas.
Mm-hmm. When you say wellness, I mean, you always associate with wellness a nice, beautiful spa, you know, a nice whirlpool, whatever. What do you mean by wellness?
So wellness category is a multi-trillion-dollar industry in the world, and these are products that are used by individuals on a day-to-day basis for betterment of their health, of their life, or comfort, and what have you. And you're going to see, if not already, CBD primarily being infused in all kinds of these health and beauty, cosmetics, nutraceutical. That's what we call wellness, an entire category that is not quite recreational, where those patients or users are just using it for recreation. These are for people that are using it on a regular basis for betterment of their lives.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, let's say your business. Is it like vertically integrated? You said you are not really a grower so you are buying the stuff from a farmer, for example, and then you make your products?
We are both, actually. So we are a vertically integrated company such that we will have our own production. However, our methodology is to be more of a hub for an industry hub, if you will, where we will take product from other producers, small and large, and microprocessors as well, and give them a location or a hub where they can transform that product. We can extract their product and produce all those products, the consumer products of the future.
Aha, that means you're like a white labeling company also?
Correct. We will have our own brand as well as we will offer white labeling services, correct.
Okay, fantastic. So then for the distribution, do you have your own shops or how does that work?
So we don't currently have our own retail shops in works at the moment. However, I have envisioned a pure retail store eventually. At the moment, we're focused on larger channel partners. So in Canada, we are dispensing to medical patients very shortly. We have some affiliations with some of the largest medical groups in Canada with hundreds of thousands of patients in their database. So we will start dispensing to them directly. For the rec, or what we like to call adult legal market, we'll be introducing our Pure Sense branded products, which will be made of sustainable packaging, recyclable, things that resonate with the consumer, and more focused on the 50 to 60-year-old female persuasion. And so that's our phase 2. Phase 3 will be exporting to the global markets once we achieve our GMP certifications in early 2019. And Germany is one of our target markets, which we hope to be entering by Q2 of next year, and then abroad as well. The long-term plan is developing the pharmaceutical products of the future. So putting the research and investigations and clinical trials into developing targeted cannabinoid-based therapies.
Oh, that's interesting. So you sound to me like more like a pharmaceutical company really now. Because when you say like you have clinical testings or let's say phase 1, 2, 3, etc., that means that you want to go maybe for FDA approval then finally for some products?
100%. So I'm a pharmacist by trade, and when I entered this field,
that explains a lot to me now.
I entered this field and realized that a lot of the other companies are run by non-pharmacists. You have IT executives, lawyers, capital markets experts. No pharmaceutical company that I'm aware of in the world was ever started by these professions. They're always started by doctors or pharmacists. And we are indeed building a biopharma company for the cannabis sector, more of a health solutions company. Yes, indeed, we want to make those pharmaceutical products of the future that will, in Canada, will be DIN licensed through the Health Canada, in the US, FDA licensed, and other parts of the world. Once we get licensing there, we can take it to many other parts of the world.
What can hold you off to get the license? What might be a problem, or what could be a problem, or is there no problem?
Listen, it's with cannabis, what's very interesting and exciting is we're not developing a single molecule that's new and never been tried, where you need to test if it's going to kill you or what have you. This is a phytochemical, a natural product that's been used for thousands of years. So the pathway to develop medicines is actually quicker, faster, less expensive, and we can develop therapeutics that are really targeted. Cannabis has a lot of different chemicals in it. There's the cannabinoids, there's terpenes, now we know about flavonoids, but what combination combination is best for every patient. But we want to actually take that a little bit further, because what's best for you may not be best for me. You have a different biochemistry than I do.
Definitely.
So really our holy grail and what we're really hoping to bring is personalized medicine into the industry. So we're already going to be offering some genetic testing to determine, are you a fast metabolizer or a slow metabolizer, to determine how to best use cannabis. And so we are really putting the money and research behind identifying which cannabis is best for an individual.
Interesting. So as we know already, there are a lot of, let's say, diseases, illnesses where you can really help with cannabis a lot. Have you identified, let's say, or not only identified, but do you focus on special diseases where you think you have a more, how can I say that, a deeper knowledge or more R&D on it with your products?
Indeed. So there's the broad categories that everyone is sort of developing products in. Pain, anxiety, sleep are some of the major areas that cannabis is used for. But there's about 80 diseases that have clinical evidence for cannabis benefit. And out of the 80, we're looking at about a dozen, and we'll narrow down to maybe half a dozen that we will immediately start developing products for. Some of them will be more of the broader areas, such as pain, sleep, and so forth. But some of the other areas which I can't exactly mention will be areas that no one else is quite studying yet. The white spaces. So we see tremendous opportunity for disease areas that no one else has developed anything yet for, and there's a very high demand for that.
Yeah, and I think this is especially for, let's say, a company your size. This is the really high interest level, I would call it, because the big pharmaceuticals, they always want to have the next blockbuster.
That's right.
You can say, maybe we have development cost of, let's say, 20 million. If we make then afterwards 20 or 30 million per year, we are fine. We don't need $1 billion.
Correct. And we're using the traditional mechanisms used by pharma, where they work with the innovators, but then you work with large pharma to distribute the product, to commercialize the product.
Exactly.
So indeed, we'll start the initial stages, but we're already talking to several large pharma companies to do joint ventures with, to bring in their robustness and to take it global.
And distribution network, of course.
Exactly.
That's also interesting. Super. Let's talk about some numbers. As you know, we have a lot of viewers which want to invest in the sector. That's why we are doing this here today, to interview you guys. What does it look like 2018, 2019? First of all, do you have the money to fund all your R&D, your development? And also, when will you start, let's say, to make real profits? Or what is your, let's say, a bit of a guidance for 2019, 2020 concerning revenues and maybe also already a positive EBITDA? We don't know.
Sure. So our company just went public in July. We're listed on the Toronto Stock Venture Exchange, and we raised about 11 million through that RTO. We have just done a convertible debt of 10 million in funding as well. So we're very well capitalized. We have about 15 million in the bank right now, and zero debt outside of the convertible note, which we will be converting when we do another debt round in the future. So we're very well financed, fully funded for the next 4 phases of development out to 2019. We're guiding conservatively at 8,000 kilograms, but we're introducing a vertical farming system. So as a pharmacist, I knew when I got into this, I wasn't going to be growing the product. I had to find the right individual that will be the expert. And I have found what I believe is one of the most talented commercial horticulturists in the world. You'd be hard-pressed to find anyone more talented. He's developed commercial scale facilities in Middle East, in Europe, in Asia, as well as in North America. He's retired many times over, and he's a mad scientist and just wants to develop those NASA-developed technologies and bring them into cannabis sector. So to that end, we are fully funded, and once we introduce that, we'll have a very low-cost input. We will go into production early next year. By the end of 2019, we hope to be producing on average of around 1,000 kilograms per month, but we want to be purchasing and acquiring from other sources at least that much as well. So that'll give you a sense. I'm not going to mention particular numbers, but by 2019, we're distributing about equivalent of 2,000 kilograms of product per month, either in dried flower or the various products that we're looking to develop. That'll give you a sense of how we're guiding for 2019, and then 2020 will be multiples of that, hopefully.
Okay, fantastic. So you must have already already a little bit of an idea of a margin, I would call it. I mean, maybe it's a little bit too early, but speaking like all-in production costs per gram or per kilogram, can you give us an idea, maybe? Not that those are final, it's a forward-looking statement,
Indeed.
I know. So for you, not easy to answer,
Sure.
but maybe you can give our viewers an idea. Do we talk about a margin of, let's say, 20 or 30%, or maybe closer to 50, 60%? What your business plan is?
So vertical farming and the methodologies that we're looking to introduce will have the lowest input cost possible. Now, you can have lower input costs, but it may affect the product quality. For example, greenhouse, terrific, very cheap, large scale, but the product is not the same grade. Indoor farming enables better quality, more standardization, and the cost right now for most producers say is about $2 to $3. We're anticipating just over $1. Our aim is to be down to about 70 cents per gram of production. Wow. Higher quality, higher grade, and standardized. And this will give us a lot of room for competitive pricing and also for global export.
Fantastic. Well, that sounds like a plan here. Thank you very much for the interview. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you, Jochen.
And all the best for 2019. And I'm pretty sure we hear a lot more from you guys.
I look forward to it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you again.
Ladies and gentlemen, there was Malai Panchal, and you heard it. He's from Pure Global Cannabis and the founder and the CEO, of course. And 70 cents as a target price for the production. I love that, honestly, per gram. This is one of the lowest prices I heard so far here today. And I think they have a great idea of a 4-phased plan. And they are in the right business. And what I really enjoyed to hear is that they want to go in those white areas, as he called it, for the medical cannabis approach, for new medicines, for diseases which nobody's looking at. And because I see there also a lot of potential for the future. So I suggest, as the company is quite new, check out the company. Thanks for watching us. Bye-bye from Frankfurt.